If you're not already using the Canva app on your phone, you're missing out big time. Whether you're creating stories on the go or feel like designing social media posts from your phone, it makes spontaneous content so much faster. In this Canva tutorial, I'll show you step by step how to use the Canva phone app to create graphics and images using a mobile device for free. You can start downloading the app right now to create alongside me, because by the end of this video, I'm sure you'll want to start creating straight away. And as a little side note, I will be presenting the Canva app on iOS, but the Android version looks the same, so you can follow the exact same process if you don't have an iPhone. I've used Samsung phones for years and loved it just as much. I'm Natalia, and I help you create better content and grow in social media, so let's jump right in. So I'm going to be using my mouse just so you can see the pointer in here. So let's jump into the Canva app. You will be able to download it from the App Store. But from here, the first thing you see is the dashboard, the Canva homepage. And the most important part in here is probably your search bar. This is going to be probably the most utilized part about Canva, because from here, you will be able to search any of your content, your designs, for example, or any of the Canva templates. So say you're a yoga instructor and you want to find some templates for yoga instructors, you will be able to just type that in here and it will pull up the different templates for you. So let's say yoga from here, and you can see that at the very top you will be able to select whether you want Canva templates or all of your content. So again, if you've got yoga in any of the designs names, you will be able to pull them up from here. And let's say I'm just searching for yoga, and you can see that I've got all the different templates, and from here in the middle I will be able to change the category. For example, if I want that in an Instagram stories format, I can just tap on here and hit apply. And from here, I will be able to search for those particular formats. So let's go back to the dashboard in here. And below, what you can see is this panel right here with all the different dimensions that Canva offers for your designs. Now, from here, I will be able to just click on the Instagram post, because this is probably something that I use the most, but this would take me to the editor. But I want to show you what that does when I click social media, for example. So if I do that, you can see that it opens up this panel for me. I've got the very top in here, so you would be able to still search. But apart from that, you can see that I can change the category. So say I didn't want social media, but I actually wanted videos, I would be able to just jump to the different category from here. But from the social media category, you can see that I can filter all the results by Instagram, by Facebook, by LinkedIn, so the different platforms from under the social media tab. And apart from that, you can see all the different dimensions are quite popular. So if you just scroll through those, you will be able to see the most popular ones. You see all your brand templates that were created for the social media formats, and you will be able to see all the different templates from the Canva library for the most popular formats, which are Instagram posts, Facebook posts, and Instagram stories. Now, what I want to show you as well is this more tab in here. So when you scroll through to the top, you will be able to go to more in here. And from here, you will be able to access all the different, maybe less popular Canva design dimensions that are available for you that might not be at the forefront of everyone's mind. You've got book covers in here, magazine covers, you've got ID card, Zoom virtual backgrounds, which Canva is really brilliant for. So you will be able to access them from here. And again, if you're looking for something, you can always jump into the search bar in here and search for something in particular. Another great way to create a design from Canva is to use this simple plus button in here at the bottom. And if I click on it, you can see that this panel pulls up again. And I want to show you one very particular thing in here at the very bottom. You can see start creating from media. So it sees, of course, if you allow Canva access to your camera roll, you will be able to see your photos from here. So you would be able to just pick something from your camera roll to start your design. And apart from that, you can also upload from here. So you'll be able to just click and upload a specific image, for example, or you can click here, and this allows you to create a custom design. So from here, you'll be able to enter the width, the height, and choose the units from pixels, inches, millimeters, or centimeters. So depending on what you need, you will be able to access it in here. And once you put something in here, let's say 350, which wouldn't be anything that I remotely would create, but just to demonstrate that for you, I would be able to then hit create new design from here. Apart from that, you can see that it suggests the recents for you from here. So this is quite a cool option. And in Canva, everything's pretty much customizable. So this is a great way for you to always start a design with the custom dimensions in mind. Apart from that, below you've got your recent designs. So this is the panel where you'll be able to see all the different creations that you've already produced within Canva. And below you've got, again, different suggestions from the most popular templates. Now, in here, apart from the homepage, I want to show you the projects tab. If you click on it from here, you will be able to, again, access all of your recent designs, and you will be able to access all your folders or your designs and brand templates. So you can see that in here, I've got my list, which is alphabetically sorted, and I've got access to all of my different folders. So if I have anything in particular that I want to access, or I know I'll be working on, say, YouTube B-roll, I can just jump into that folder from this panel in here. Now, from the templates down below in this panel right here, you'll be able to access work kits. By the way, very soon I'll be releasing my Canva updates featuring specifically work kits. So stay tuned for that and make sure you subscribe so do not miss this one. And from here, again, you will be able to access the thousands of templates that Canva offers. And again, I've shown you before, it looks very similar to how the search bar would look. You can search for something in particular from here, and then you'll be able to filter those different templates to find exactly what you're looking for. And from the bottom in here, you can see what Canva for Teams offers, because I'm on Canva for Teams. When you're on a free Canva, you might be prompted to try Canva Pro for free, which you can do using my link in the description down below. So check it out in here. It just gives you a full month of Canva Pro for free, so you can test out all the amazing templates and amazing elements from the library and the different features that come with Canva Pro with no strings attached. Now let's jump back to the homepage. And another thing that I want you to see is this burger menu in here. Once I click on it, I will be able to change my team. So if you're a part of different teams, for example, if someone, invited you to their team, you'll be able to change that from here. And there's also an account switcher. So if you have multiple Canva accounts that you're a part of, you will be able to switch very quickly from here. You will be able to invite people from this panel in here as well. And then below, you will be able to access all the different panels that are very important within Canva. So if you have Canva Pro, you'll be able to access your brand kits and your brand templates. So from here, you can see that you would be able to set up your brand kit. Now let's jump back into this panel. You can see that the next one is apps. So Canva has so many different apps within their ecosystem, and you will be able to use them from within the editor. But when you take a look here below to the recommended section, you'll be able to also access the content planner. So this is something that you can use to plan your posts once you have your Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest connected to Canva. And you can also access product photos from here and mockups. So let's jump back. There's a new glow up tab, which will explain exactly what's happening with the new glow up, and you will be able to give the feedback on the glow up, which is coming to all of us very, very soon. I already have it within my account. So this is what the new Canva app looks like. And then you can access your trash and your start sections and your recent designs from here. So this is a super cool panel that is very, very useful. Now, I think we're ready to jump into the designing process and jump into the editor. So today we'll try to design an Instagram post in a portrait ratio, which is exactly what I'm using from here. So you can see that I just clicked on that one from the homepage and it took me straight to the Canva editor. Now within the editor, what you can see is first the burger menu in here, which takes you back to the Canva homepage. So if you ever need to leave the editor, you'll be able to do it from here and just click on the Canva logo and it will take you back in there. Of course, you never have to worry because normally Canva saves everything unless you have issues with the internet or there's an external issue, but normally everything gets saved for you automatically. So even if you leave to the homepage, you will always retain all of your designs from within the editor. Now, apart from that, you can see the undo and redo buttons. So if you ever have to change something that you've done, you can do it with the arrows in here. Next, we've got the three dots, and from here, you will be able to change the name of the design, which I'll do straight away because this is something that we always need to remember to keep our Canva organized. Once you organize everything and always name your designs, I feel like it's very important, especially on the phone, because On the laptop, you can see it very clearly at the very top, but in here within the editor on your phone, the name of the design is not straight away kind of visible to you. So I feel like it's even more important in here to not create too much of a mess within your account. By the way, if you want to know how to organize your Canva from the get-go to make everything work smoothly and design much faster, then check out this video right here. Now let's type in Instagram post in here, just like this. So this is how you change your name, and I'll say YouTube tutorial because this is the category that I have assigned for my tutorial, so that I can quickly pull up any of the tutorials that I've created. You can change the mode in here from editing to commenting or to viewing, but we'll stick to editing in here. And apart from that, from here you can create a new design, import files, or resize and magic switch. So you'll be able to resize your design at any point, but this is a pro feature only. You can view all pages. So this is the thumbnail view, so you will be able to add multiple pages to your designs from here, from the thumbnail view. So if I unclick it, you can see that it gets me back to it. Now, another great way to actually access it is to pinch your editor, if that makes sense. So it's very hard to explain for me, but you literally just have to pinch it. So this is how it looks, and it takes you back to the thumbnail view. And if you just click on any of the pages, it will take you back to that detailed page view. So from the top, let's get back to our settings from here, and you can access them in here. From here, again, you can show page thumbnails, show timeline duration, you can add guides, which is a very important feature. You can show margins or print bleed, hide comments. So this is quite a cool option, and you can access all of it from here. And you can see that it auto saves everything. So all changes are saved. Again, at any point, if you lose internet access, or if there's anything going on, maybe with your device, or there's something on the side of Canva, this will show you that your design has not been saved, but you usually get prompted. So no worries, and everything will be sorted for you straight away. And you can move a design to a folder from here, or make a copy. You can share it from here. So this is what you can access from the 3 dots menu in here. Now, right next to it, we again have the magic resize. So from here, you will be able to access magic switch, where you can translate your document. You can resize it to a different dimensions, or you can browse the dimensions by category in here. So you can search for them in here. You've got different comments in here. And from these 2 arrows in here, this one just downloads your image straight away. This is empty at the moment, so luckily it's not going to save an empty design for me. And from here, you will be able to invite, you can save it as a brand template. So this panel in here is actually showing you all the export features. So anything that you would do after finishing your design. Now let's move on to the more exciting part, which is the bottom panel in here. So you can see that all of these are corresponding to the left panel that you would normally see in the editor on the desktop. Now the first panel in here is the design. So anytime you open an empty design, you will be able to still access all the templates in this specific dimension that you've chosen. So we've got Instagram portrait. So from here, you can see all the different results for the templates that you can see in here. So you can scroll through it just like that, and you can see all the different options. And at the very top, you can also access magic design, or you can just describe what you're looking for in terms of the template, and you can find it here. So I've said yoga. So if you type in yoga again to stay within the same category, you will be able to access all the templates from here as well. So don't worry if you've started a custom dimension, or if you've started a blank design, you will still be able to access all the templates from here. But we are designing from scratch, so we're going to move on to the Elements tab, which is arguably the most important tab within Canva, because apart from the very vast library of amazing templates, Canva also offers incredible assets in the form of different graphics and different photos and videos. So you can access all of them from the Canva library like this, from the Elements tab. So if you want to search for something in particular, you will be able to do it from here. There's an AI image generator, there are stickers, again, and photos and audio as well. So you will be able to add them from here as well. The next tab is the text tab. So from here, if you have Canva Pro, you will be able to access all of the fonts that you've set up in your Canva brand kit. And apart from that, you have different options for text in here. So you have different font text effects and font combinations that will allow you to create something a little bit more cohesive and to create something that was already created with incredible design in mind. So there are amazing designers that contribute to Canva constantly, and they always suggest different font combinations and again, different designs for you. So you'd never have to design from scratch and worry about, typography or things of that nature. And you can always get inspired by this panel in here as well. Now, the next one is your camera. So from the Canva app, you can also jump into your camera, and from the camera roll, you will be able to add any of the photos from there, or you can just access the camera and take a photo. So this is great for creating content on the go. Say you're at an event, for example, and you're, shooting something, or you want to create a post just like that on the go, or a fun story, for example, you will be able to do it from here as well and just take a photo and upload it straight into Canva. Apart from that, you can also upload files from your phone in here as well. So you will be able to access your uploads from this tab in here, but you can also click in here to access your photo library, or again, access your camera to take a photo or a video to upload it straight into Canva. The next panel in here is our draw panel. I feel like it's much easier to do it with your fingers. So you will be able to see what I'm doing on the screen just because I'll use the draw panel. So I've just chosen this particular pen in here and it's red. So within Canva, you'll actually be able to draw whatever you like. So this is quite a cool thing because afterwards, once you click on it, you will be able to just access this element just like this, and it turns into a movable element that you will be able to resize or to, rotate like this. So this is quite a cool thing within the Canva editor. Next, we've got the projects tab, and this is your headquarters, if that makes sense. This is where you can access all of your designs or uploads, all of your folders. So this is your organizational heaven, if that makes sense. And from here, you will be able to just apply any of your previous designs to this particular design. So say I'm clicking on this gradients design that I've got in my account already, and it has all of the different gradients that I've used with my brand colors. So I can just select any of those. I'll click on this one, for example, and that can be the basis of my design in here. And I will be able to just apply it like this. Next, we've got the apps panel. And from here, you'll be able to discover, as I've mentioned before, so many different apps within the Canva ecosystem. If you scroll down, you've got charts, you've got bulk create, you've got audio and logos, you've got all the different ones. You've got mockups that are available within Canva, which allow you to literally create mockups from t-shirts or computers or, packaging. So many great options in here. So if you scroll down, you will be able to access all the different apps in here. But again, we're just going through the different panels in here. Now, anything beyond the apps is actually something that you've used before. You can see that I've got my folders in here. I've got the different apps that I'm using very often. So anything beyond apps is really very individual. And again, on desktop, you would normally be able to just hit an X and this just closes that app from this menu, if that makes sense. But on the app, it just appears in here. We've covered all the different elements from the top panel and from the bottom panel. So now we're ready to start designing. And of course, every design starts with probably a good background. So this is something that I want to show you now. Let's tap on the background in here and you can see that this selects the background. So you can see the purple outline appearing on the app. And this means that this background is selected. Now, the first thing that you see at the top is this little menu. From here, you will be able to add a comment to that background. You can duplicate and you can also delete, but there's nothing on the canvas at the moment, so you won't be able to delete this. And from the bottom, you can see that the panel actually changed. And this means that we now have access to the contextual menu. And this contextual menu actually changes depending on what you have selected on the canvas. So right now, I've selected the background, and that means that this panel now shows the different options pertaining to the background specifically. But if I had an image in here, you will be able to see how that contextual menu changes. And I'll show that to you in just a second. So let's start with choosing a color for the background in here. So I can just access the color panel. And from here, you can see the first, I can choose a specific color in particular. So I can go to a solid color and this panel appears where I'll be able to, first of all, just slide through this panel like this and slide through this one to change the different colors to find something that I'm looking for. And in here at the bottom, you can also type in your particular hex code. If you have something in particular that you use for your brand and you remember it at the top of your head, you'll be able to just use it in here. Or you can also use the color dropper to pick a different color from, say, this point, for example, and this will just select this particular one in here. Now, this is what the solid color options are, but you also have the option to add gradients from within Canva. So you can change the style in here of the different gradients. You will be able to change the colors from here like this. Again, the same panel appears, but apart from just the color slide in here, you also have the transparency like this. So you will be able to actually create a transparent gradient, which means that if I had something underneath here, it would show up gradually like this. I think a solid color in this case is pretty useful, just like this. But if I close that color picker and go back to the color menu, you can see my recently used or the colors that are used within this design, or I can also access colors from my brand kit, which is this palette in here. So let's say I want to stick to this color in particular. The next thing I want for my design is an image. And of course, I would be able to just go to my uploads. If I have something like this, I would be able to add it to my design. If I want to delete it, I can just, again, hit that trash bin at the very top that appears, and then I can just remove it very quickly. But I'll go to the Elements tab and here and search for something in particular. So if I wanted to access photos just to browse them, I can just scroll down to the photos sections and click See All. And from here, you see the magic recommendations that are based on maybe your previous choices or the choices for this particular design. You can see the trending panel in here, or you can search for something in particular. And in here, I'm going to type in woman in blue dress. I can just view anything that I want from here. And let's say I like this one in here, so I can add it to my design. And you can see that now the background is no longer selected. We don't see that purple around. We just see that purple around this image. And this means that this is what is selected. Now from here, what I can do is to make it bigger, make it smaller by dragging through the corners, or if you drag by the sides, this actually crops it. So if I don't want that crop, I can always go back to the top. Remember when I mentioned the arrows, you will be able to change the arrows from here as well. And this just undoes it. But if I change my mind and actually decide, yes, I want to go for that crop, I can redo it from here at the top. Now, when you move the element around the canvas, you can see that there are different lines appearing all the time. And this is something that I really love about Canva, because Canva guides you to help you align your different elements much easier. Now, if I drag it to the side, let's say like this, when this solid line through the middle appears, this means that this is perfectly centered. Now, when I drag it a little bit lower, just like that, this means that this is perfectly centered both vertically and horizontally. So this is just a little guide for you to show you where your element is specific to the dimensions that are below it. And I do advise you to pay attention to these lines to make sure that everything is nicely balanced. Let's drag it to the side just like this. And I might actually just crop it a little from here and from that side as well, just to make it a little bit more narrow. And I'm just going to drag it like this to create a little effect just like that. Now, the next thing I want to do is to go to text, and the text bar is in here. If you just scroll back, because we've been using the font combinations from below, I actually can just add something from my own brand kit or add a text box from here. So I can just click on it like this, and this little magic box appears, and you can see that this changed at the bottom. So first I'm going to enter my text. So you can see that if I select it once, you can see the purple outline that we know from before, and that means that the whole text box is selected, not the text within it. So I will be able to move it around the canvas like this, or if I just click on it, then you can see that the text underneath is selected, and that is different to the text box. So from here, your keyboard should appear, and then you'll be able to type out your message. So from here, I'm going to say design your life. From below, you can access the font bar from here. So I can change fonts to something from my own brand kit like this, or you will be able to pull it up like that so that you can search for something in particular. So in here, if you want a handwriting font, or if you have a specific specific font in mind, you can type it in here through the search bar like this. You can also use any of the categories from here. So you've got handwriting, corporate, display, headings. You've got all the different options like this. You've got document fonts as well, recommended fonts for your particular design, recently used, and then again, my brand kit, uploaded fonts. So you've got all the different fonts, the popular fonts that you can access from here. So I think I'm just going to go for a League Spartan. This is one of my favorite fonts that I've been using. And from the text styles in here, you will be able to also access your again, brand kit or your document styles, but this applies only to pro features. Now from here, you can also choose the font size. So I can just drag the slider like this, and this makes it much bigger or much smaller. Then the next panel is my color panel. So again, we know it from before. Apart from the color, you've got the formatting options. So if it's a boldable font, you would be able to bold it, make it italics, underscore it, strike through it, make all the letters capitalized. You can also change the alignment from here. So I'm going to align it to the left like this, and you can also enable numbering or bullet points. So this is what you can do from the format. And in here is the spacing button. Now, I want to emphasize that every time you design within Canva, you probably should adjust the line spacing, because Canva very often doesn't really do it naturally. So you've got big spaces between your words, and this is a telltale sign that you really are a beginner designer. So if you want to check out those tips that I've got for you in terms of what you should be on the lookout for, then check out this video where I tell you how to become a designer in literally 10 minutes so that you can get all those little tips and also learn how to design another Instagram post from Canva. Now let's adjust this line spacing like this, and you can see that I can just drag it to make it bigger or make it smaller like this. I'm operating on my mouse, so there's a funny little artifact like this. If I just drag it like this to make it a little smaller, maybe like that, I just made that space a little bit more natural. And there's also a letter spacing option, which you can adjust like this. Then at any point, you will be able to jump into that number and actually change that number to something. And then once you hit enter, it will actually change that number to what you want. So instead of just using the letter spacing based on the slider, you can also insert the different numbers, and that will be much more precise this way. Now, the next tab, apart from spacing, is our effects tab. And from here, you can access shadow to add shadow. You can lift it a little. There's a hollow option, splice. So there are so many different cool options that you can access in here. And you can also go back to none, and this just removes all of your effects. But apart from that, apart from the styles in the effects, you also have shapes, and this is where you would create a curved text. So this wouldn't apply necessarily to this particular text. This is not the effect that I want, but just for you to know that this is a possibility, you will be able to do it from here. So let me show you what it looks like. Just like that, you can just change the curve to, something like this, and it will create that fun effect for you. Again, we don't want that, so I'm just going to get back to my original just like this. And apart from this, you have animation options, so you will be able to animate your text. You've got transparency options, so if you ever want to make it a little less opaque, you can do that from here in as well, or you can just completely disappear that element. And then the next panel is your layers. So anytime you add a new element, it appears either kind of below a different element or in front of it, and you will be able to easily change that through here. So of course, if I overlap these two, I would be able to then drag it to the top. Just like that, if you tap on it and select it and drag it to the top, you can see that it changes the positioning of it. So this is an easy way to actually access that feature, and any overlapping elements you will be able to see in here as well. So this is quite a cool thing. And if you ever want to select two elements, you can do it from here as well and move both of them like this. But I'm going to just get back to it and keep designing. So let's do it like this. Okay. And now let's select the text box again to finish off what we were talking about. The next thing is the position. So this is exactly what I was talking about. You can move the element forward or backwards. If I make it a little bigger, just like that, because you can also make the text box bigger like this. You'll be able to send it backward or forward. Of course, we only have 2 elements, but you would be able to send it fully to the back if you've got more than 1 element as well. Now, the next thing is your alignment. So you can very easily just move it to the center or move it to the middle, just like that. So this, again, is another help from Canva to make sure that you're aligned perfectly. And then from advanced, you will be able to rotate it to a specific degree. You can change the positioning in terms of the pixels, or you can block the ratio, just like that. And something that a lot of people miss from the Canva desktop when they move to the phone app is the ability to nudge. So do you know how on desktop you can actually nudge the element a little bit to the side or a little bit to the top by using the arrow keys? Well, you can access that feature from here as well. It's at the very end of this panel, this contextual menu for any of the different elements. So you can do the same thing for the image or for the text box. You've got the nudge in here. So if I click on it, you can actually use this as your arrow keys like this. And if you just keep tapping, it's going to just keep repositioning it a little bit just like that. So you can just perfectly, put it to the specific place that you want it to be at. So this is where you access nudge. And if you click more, you will be able to access the lock and the timing and the comments from here as well. You will be able to copy the style of this particular text box and paste it over a different one. So these are all the other options that you have with the text box like this, but these are quite universal with the more. Now we can also access this more tab for multiple selection or for copying from these 3 dots in here on any of the other elements as well. So again, from the image menu, you can click this and you'll be able to access it like that. We've got the text box covered. So let's take a look at what the image panel offers us. So you can see that it completely changes if I select one to the other. So within the image, you can now see the style. So from here, you will be able to add a border just like this. You can see that it changes. You can add a dashed one or a dotted one like this, or you can remove it completely. You also can round the corners of your media. So this is quite a cool effect. You can just move the slider or again, access this from the little numbering panel in here, and you will be able to just change it like this. And you can see that it's nicely rounded. Apart from that, you have the Magic Studio features, which is a really cool thing because from here, you will be able to access the background remover. This is a pro only feature, but you will be able to, with one click, remove the background of your image and you would be able to start designing from here. Apart from that, you've got Magic Eraser. So if you wanted to, remove something from the background, you would be able to do it. So let's get back to the Magic Studio. Apart from that, you've got Magic Grabs. Say I wanted to just grab that object, that lovely lady from here. I can just click on it and grab it, and you can see what it does in just a second. And you can see that just completely removed this person from the background, and I can use it as a fun way to kind of change the design like this. But I'm just going to get back to it because I don't want that effect in here. We're just, moving through those features. Grab text literally grabs text from your images. I don't have any text from here, but you can use it like this. With Magic Edit, you can literally either brush or tap on the specific object. And here I've got the lady, but maybe I want to just change that flower in here to something different. So I've just brushed the element that I want to change. And from here, I can describe what I want to change. And let's say I want a pink rose. So I can just click generate like this. And from here, it will change this flower for me. And voila, you can see that it offers me 4 different options. Of course, I would never choose this one. As you can see, editing faces, hands, or legs isn't intended for Magic Edit, but you can see that in here, it changed the flower to a different one. So it would be able to just use that one. And you can see that it looks pretty cool. And then from Magic Studio, another thing is Magic Expand, which if in this case, I want a whole page with this image. If you ever need to expand your background, if you have an image that you don't have enough of, if that makes sense, to fill your whole design, for example, you will be able to use Magic Extend, and the Canva AI would fill all the different details for you to create a full image. So you can see in here that I tried, and actually it's not that bad. I mean, there are some funny artifacts in here with the knee in here, or in here you can see that you would definitely not use this leg in here, but you can see that I tried. I don't know what this is. There are always some funky artifacts, but maybe this one you would be able to use just like this. And this way you can just use this whole image as a basis of your design. But again, I'm going to get back to my original. So these are the options that you've got within the Magic Studio. Apart from that, you can just have the Adjust tab, which means that you can change the temperature of the image just like this to maybe match the vibe a little bit more. You can change the tint, you've got the brightness, so you can literally edit your photo completely just to make sure that you are getting the result that you want. You can change the contrast like this, you can change, the highlights. So all of those options are available for you. The next tab is filters, so you can also access all the different Canva filters that are available. And if you tap on it again, you can adjust the intensity like this. So again, this is helpful for you if you want to make your image appear a little kind of nicer, if that makes sense. So Canva helps you with it. Then you've got effects. So again, you've got shadows and you've got blur. You can retouch the face. So there are different effects available for you in here. And apart from that, you've got the apps. So Canva has some apps. So you've got mockups or image upscaler for your old photos if you want to make them appear a little sharper and to clean them up. This is a great one. And then you've got different options in here. I won't go through all of them because we would literally spend hours in here if I went through every single one. So I encourage you to test them out yourself. Then you can crop, you can flip the image horizontally or vertically like this from here. And again, you've got animation options. If you want, a photo zoom like this to appear, you can make your designs a little bit more dynamic. And apart from that, again, something that we've covered already with the different ones. Some of them are universal. Okay, let's continue designing. So I'm going to add another text box from here. So I'll just add it like this and I'll say part 1 because let's say this particular design is a part of a wider series, let's say. So I can just make it smaller like this. So let's say I want to change the font for this one. So I'll just select the text and go to fonts in here, pull up the full panel like this, and I can just go for Montserrat. Just like this. And just like that, I can change it. You can see that I've got all the different options for something a little bit like, bolder, semi-bold. So you can access the full font family like this. Okay, let's make it a little smaller from here, just like that. And I'll go to the elements just to find a little outline in here. So let's say I want to use a shape in this case. I'll just use a rectangle, just like this. I've just added it here. I'll change the color and I can actually from here change the fill to nothing. And then change the border to a little black border like this. So this is quite a fun thing that I love to use. And from here, I can adjust the corner just like this. And I can just make it completely kind of round it like this. And just drag the sides to create this little fun element like that. And, this is how it looks. And say I want to now select both of them, I can just go to more once I selected one. And then if I click select multiple, if I just make it a little bigger, you can select multiple like this, and you will be able to just, group the whole element like this. And then it becomes one thing. So you can just make it as big or as small as you want, just like this together. I'll add another text box in here, just like this, add a text box, and I can actually paste the text. So when you're on the app, anytime you've got something copied, you will be able to, as normal, just tap on it and it will allow you to cut or copy or paste, just like your normal kind of system would allow you, whether it's iOS or an Android, you will be able to do that from here. So I'll just paste my text like this, and you can see that I filled it completely, and I'll just make it smaller and just change the formatting from here, just like that. And I can just change the text box. Maybe first I'll make it even smaller, just like that. And I can just drag the side to fit that in here. Let's say this is something that I would be happy with. So I've got a part of my design in here, and maybe I can make it a little higher in here, just like that. It's a little tight for now, but I want to just show you how to add the different elements in here. So let's go to the elements, and I want something a little bit more geometric. So I'll just tap geometric. And you can see that once you tap something in the General Elements tab, you will be able to choose the different sections. I can go to graphics, I can go to photos, to videos, to shapes, to audio. You've got all the different options from here based on your keywords. I'm going to go into graphics, and I want to search for something a little fun in that regard. So let's say this is the one that I want to use. I can just tap to add it in here, and you can see that I just added it, and you can see that for some of the elements from the library, you will be able to change color. These types of elements are called vectors, and this is why it allows you to change the color. But for some of them, for example, an illustration that some creator uploaded, you won't actually be able to use it. So just to let you know that this is happening, and sometimes you won't be able to change the color within a graphic. So let's say I want that graphite in here, and I can also go to flip it. So in here, I've got the option to flip just like this. And maybe I want to create a fun little effect in here. What I want to, just add something like this. And now if I want to be a little bit more particular and I want to see something a little bit more closely, I can literally just zoom in and just move it like this. So again, you can see that I'm moving things around. And if I ever want to be a little bit more precise, I can also go to this nudge panel in here and again, nudge it into place a little bit like this. Now, what I want to do next is to change the position of this element. So I'll go to position because I want that line to appear below this image. So I can just go backward like this, or just I could have sent it to back completely just like that. And let's say I want to again try to reposition it a little to make sure that it's aligned like this. So this is how easy it is to actually design within the Canva app. Everything's customizable, so you will be able to change things up very quickly. Now I'll make this text a little smaller, and as you can see, as I'm dragging the sides of the corner of this particular text box, you can see that these two little 42s appear. So these pink indicators show you that you're in an equal distance from the header to the text body, and this means that these three elements are now pretty perfectly aligned. So this is something to be on the lookout for as well if you ever want to align everything perfectly. So I'm just moving things around just to make a little bit more space for everything. So you can see how easy it is to just move things around like this. Again, I'm using my finger just to make it a little bit easier for myself because I don't want to use my mouse every single time, but you can see that this is something that I've very quickly created like that. I now want to show you another thing. So I can just go to the elements and add gradient. So let's go for gradient like this, and you can go to the graphics and you'll find so many different elements in terms of the gradient options. Let's say this is something that I want to use, and I can choose a color that's a little kind of pink-ish. Let's say I can just drag and choose the color that I like, and I can put that element kind of below in here to create that little shading for me. I can always make it even bigger. And from here, again, I'm jumping back to reposition it. Let's say I want to show you what it looks like in the layer. So you can see that I now have all the different text boxes and the images from here. So I can just literally grab that gradient in here and just push it to the back just like this, and then reposition it from here to create that kind of fun shading that really corresponds to the rows in here at the top. And I can from here also duplicate that text like this. So again, make things easier for yourself and just change things up so that you don't, worry too much. And let's say I want to say at new life. I don't know what that is. I don't know who that person is, but let's say this would be my Instagram handle for this particular design. And again, you can see that it doesn't fit completely. So I can just drag by the side in here. Let me zoom in. You can see that if I drag by the side just like that, it creates a little bit more space. So you can always reposition that box. Again, corners make things smaller or bigger, and then I can just move it along to the side. And from here, I can just position it like this. I'm going a little outside of the color in here, and I can maybe drag it a little lower to create even more space for this one like this. So this is my design in here. Again, I could work on it a little bit more to, change things up. So you can see how easy it actually is to design something on the go. So wherever you are, if you're on an event, or if you need something very quickly, or if you're, taking a photo with a new colleague or a new friend that you've met at a networking event, you can just take a photo and make it a little nicer to, fit your brand, especially if you've got, Canva Pro and you've got templates saved. It's very easy to do everything on the go and just customize it to your liking. If you want to learn more about Canva and go more in depth, check out this comprehensive Canva tutorial, which is perfect for a beginner. When you feel like you're more comfortable with Canva and want to know some cool hacks, you can try out my Canva tips and tricks playlist to make your workflow even faster and discover some features you might not have heard about before. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what other Canva tutorial you'd like me to create next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.